Hi guys, happy Sunday. Today we're going to talk about a pivotal aspect which is related to our leadership training. The best way to get ideas is to get a lot of them according to polling. We'll be talking about conflict resolution in leadership. As a leader, how should we reduce or curb conflict? Probably you have an organization, you have a company, you have businesses. It is bound that we're going to see things like fight, disagreement. So how do we address such situations? How can we navigate that in leadership? Ignorance is nobody's friend. It's always good to be aware of some things which are obvious so that we can see how to tackle them. Now, I think that the first strategy that we can use to curb or reduce conflict, should be collaboration. In every organization, it is always good, to collaborate, work as a team to avoid inconveniences. So whenever there is conflict or disagreement, the best way is to call your team in order, discuss with them, talk to them in order to have a common ground. So it is very vital. Collaboration is very important, in conflict resolution. Secondly, we can equally talk about compromise. It's not good to take side. As a leader, whenever there's a conflict or a disagreement, I think that you have to call the two parties and take decisions that are favorable to the two parties, avoiding bias, favoritism, or tribalism. At the end of the day, your teammate or team members or subordinates will leave your office with smiles on their faces. So, compromise is another strategy that we can use to curb such problems. But remember, during our previous lessons, I said that we need to be as a leader, we have to be an active listener, because if you are not active in listening, you are passive, you won't be able to collaborate with your team. You understand? Most times, especially when we have projects that we need to present, we have activities, these are the times where we see this conflict. And lastly, it is always good, to just stay to avoid problems. Avoidance is another way. When you see something coming up as an employee or, a teammate, when you see a fraud, it's usually good to avoid it. Avoid it, and you can go to your superior or, you try to talk to them. But before doing that, try to talk to your colleagues so that you guys reason together. Dialogue is very important. That is why when we had our segment on Sunday related to overcoming challenges in leadership in the 21st century, one of my panel members spoke about communication. And he said most of the problems that some of us leaders we face is